there, guys. Today we're back with another bird watching video. Yay! Woohoo! I know you guys love these videos. Today we're at a little bit of a different location. We're not at Deception Pass. We are now at the Skagit River Slough. So this is obviously the delta, kind of where the Skagit River comes out. And there's a person right there. Hopefully they don't think I'm weird talking to this camera, but oh well. So this is kind of a cool salt marshy habitat. Hopefully we're going to see lots and lots of waterfowl, maybe some sandpiping species, swamp species, that kind of stuff. Should be pretty cool. Hopefully I see at least 2 new species so I can get to 100 species seen, which will be super exciting. That was my goal, to get to 100 species by the end of this year. And since the end of the year is like in a couple weeks, it is very important that I see some more. I have not seen any more since the last video I made, in case any of you guys were curious. But yeah, this should be super cool. Hopefully we'll see some cool birds and get them on camera, and it should all be pretty epic and awesome. So we're starting off here with seeing a juvenile bald eagle who's just kind of hanging out in that tree right there. There were lots and lots of bald eagles here, which is probably unsurprising considering that there was much water, and bald eagles kind of like water. But this is the first one I saw, and we will see some adults later on, so just stay tuned for that. Then, way off in the distance, I saw this giant flock of snow geese. Not the biggest flock of snow geese I have seen, but certainly a big flock of snow geese. Snow geese, I do feel, are kind of famous for them flocking in these really big flocks, and just, I love watching the murmurations of these guys as they fly, as they kind of move around and switch places, and it's really mesmerizing, isn't it? And then here, as you can see, we have a female green-winged teal just swimming about. And I did see a bush tit before this, and that is bird number 99 for me, which means the green-winged teal is bird number 100, which is super, super awesome. You can see we got some coots and some ringneck ducks kind of swimming about, and then a bufflehead that's about to show up. But yeah, green-winged teal, bird number 100. How cool is that? A very pretty bird to have as my 100th bird seen. Here we see some coots, you know, kind of swimming towards me. They weren't very concerned about my existence. They were like, yeah, we're just gonna swim this way and feed, because this seems like a good direction to do that. American coots are super cool birds. I love how they basically don't have any tail at all, and that dude was diving right there. And I also love how they bob their heads as they move. They really do live up to their name of mud hen to me, because they really do kind of act just like a chicken. It's just in the water, which I think is just cute and adorable. And they also, of course, don't have webbed feet. They have lobed feet, which basically means their toes are just really wide, and that's how they swim and dive, like that dude is just doing right there. And I think that's a very interesting way, and shows how in evolution there's not just one way of doing things. You don't need webbed feet in order to swim. You can also have just giant toes. Speaking of giant toes, here's another one without webbed feet and giant toes instead. This is a pied-billed grebe in winter plumage. So it's not really living up to its name right now, but it will have a ring around its bill when it goes back into the breeding season. I've seen this bird before, but very cool to see it again nonetheless. Oh, it looks like now we got some a bufflehead hen, and a green-winged teal hen who are just kind of swimming about, and that bufflehead is preening herself, and another one just came in and dove in the water, which is pretty cool. I really like watching birds preen. I don't really know what it is about it, but there's just something that's kind of fun. And it looks like now we're got some Drake green-winged teal along with the hen, and they're kind of chilling out there in the water. Green-winged teal are one of the smallest duck species. They're pretty similar in size to the other teal and the bufflehead, as you can see right there, which are all really, really small. But I do think green-winged teal are often accredited as being the smallest duck species, so I'll just kind of go with that, even though the other two, teal and bufflehead, are all basically the same size. I like this male here who's got kind of the brown feathers kind of up on top of his side. He hasn't really fully molted out of eclipse plumage, and I think that's kind of a cool look for this dude. And now here we get to see bird 101, the northern shoveler. Very much so lives up to its name with its giant spoon-like bill, which they use to, of course, filter out, dabble up different small food matter in the water. These two right here, a hen and a male who hasn't fully molted into breeding plumage yet. He's still kind of in the non-breeding plumage are just going to town on assumingly the bottom of the water right there. I guess it's not very deep, or maybe there's just giant plants in it. I'm not too sure. Here we're getting a little bit of a better view of those ringneck duck. They're sleeping right here. And you know, I think their name ringneck duck is not very good. I was, because they don't have a ring around their neck. Apparently they do if you get like really up close to them. But considering the fact that they have a giant white ring around their bill, I think the name ring-billed duck is far more appropriate. So even though I was using ringneck duck earlier in the video, just to be, you know, correct and everything, I usually just call these ring-billed ducks to rebel against the system, because I'm like, that's a way better name for these birds. They're not a very rare diving species. Of course, probably with buffleheads, they're probably the most common of the diving ducks, but still really cool to see nonetheless. I really like these two right here. This is two males that haven't fully molted into breeding plumage yet. One of them still just got little wisps of brown on him, which I think is really cool look. And then this dude over here is very much so still in the eclipse plumage, is what's called when male ducks are in their non-breeding plumage. He's still very much so looking a lot like a hen ringneck, but you can tell he's a drake because he's still got that ring around his bill. So then I was walking down this path here, and I just happened to look kind of down to my right, and I just see this white like 20 feet away, and it's of course this great blue heron that was just chilling out there. So I quickly got my camera to take some video and pictures of it. It moved with very, very slow and steady movements, which I think was very, very fun to watch, because I'm so used to birds being so hyperactive and running everywhere. Seeing one actually move slowly in almost a more reptilian way was kind of interesting. And then eventually he did end up flying a little bit farther down the path. He decided I was just a little bit too close, and so he flew all the way down there. And so I kept going the way I was going because I didn't really want to bother him anymore. I then saw a whole flock of bush tits, which are like a very, very unfortunately named bird. Someone needs to change that. I'm sorry, dudes. But they're all foraging on the ground, which is something I didn't really know bush tits did. And they had some chickadees with them, which were also on the ground foraging when they weren't in the bushes. Which again, something I wouldn't think chickadees and bush tits would do. Here we see some trumpeter swans, or some kind of swan at least. I know we get tundras around here as well, but they're just, you know, cruising by. They were doing a flyby, so I thought I'd film them real quick. They're always super cool. I love swans. I really love bigger birds in general. And speaking of bigger birds, here of course is a bald eagle, which is a very huge bird. He was kind of a far ways away, but this one, unlike the other one, actually has his nice white head and tail, the very distinctive bald eagle look. And then I got a flyby by what I'm assuming are mallards. It's very, very difficult to tell. They're very much silhouetted against the sky, but going off their necks, they had kind of short necks. I'm thinking that they were mallards. They also seem to be fairly large. But these here are not mallards, these are pintails. You can tell by their longer necks as well. As I'll put up a still here. One of them, you can very distinctly see his pintail in the silhouette, which is a very distinctive feature. You can indeed hunt at this slough, and these ducks were currently in the process of being called in by some hunters, but then they peeled up once the shots started going off. None of them dropped or anything, and they all flew away very, very quickly. Hopefully I'll be able to get to see some pintails in a little bit of a better fashion, as opposed to them flying so far away, because they are such beautiful, beautiful birds. Then here is another new bird species. So many bird species. This is a marsh wren. I don't have a lot of footage of him, but he was hopping around kind of along the path. And then there were so many seagulls. Flocks like this were just so common. There were just huge, huge flocks of seagulls. Most of them all heading out to the ocean because it was the evening. And so I'm assuming they were going out to roost. And then here's that same heron that I saw earlier. This time it was off hunting some fish by the side of the path. It was all looking for fish and stuff. It only caught very, very small little fry before eventually I'm going with the fish just kind of left. And so he got himself a move on and he started walking towards me, and I was able to get some very, very nice pictures of him, which will be displayed at the end of this video. Once I got on the logs, I then decided I just kind of wanted to hop between all the logs instead of just hanging out in the water all the time, which I thought was pretty fun. And I just want to point out, just because I just noticed them, I really love the long hair-like feathers that they have on their neck and kind of on their back. They're a very distinctive look, and those feathers just really look very, very cool to me. Then he decided that he once again wanted to fly far, far away. I hadn't moved or anything. He just was like, okay, I'm going to go over here now, which, you know, was fine. I'm very happy that he was as close as he was and gave me all the pictures I was able to get. I got some really nice pictures of him. But we are no longer looking at a heron, as I'm now aware. We are looking at some bald eagles, which had a nest, which was super cool. At least I'm assuming it was these bald eagles' nest. I mean, I don't know, they could have just been hanging around some other bald eagle's nest. And you can now see it, there was a European starling that was kind of hanging out behind them. I really like the lighting that they're in, this kind of cloudy, just past sunset look, where it's kind of dark, but not really dark. It's kind of bluish out, really. I kind of like that blue feeling. I also saw a heron that was perched on a log. I got some pictures of him and some video of him. I thought that looked pretty cool. And that basically ended the trip. It has been pretty darn cool out here. There's a whole bunch of birds out here, some waterfowl species, though not really kind of in amongst most of the slough, kind of just in that one spot where you saw me filming them at. I did see, oh shoot, there's a heron right in my path. Look at that! That's crazy. Okay, well, I'll give the rest of the outro while I'm walking this way. I'm sorry, dude, but I need to get back because it's getting dark. But anyways, seen lots of great blue herons, such as this man right here, and some eagles have been flying around, and yeah, just a whole bunch of super cool birds. I've definitely now hit over 100 bird species. I'm not exactly perfectly counting. How close is he gonna let me get? He's probably only like 30 feet away. But yeah, I've had a really, really great time out here. And Jesus Christ, how close is the heron gonna let me get to it? I can only be 20 feet away. I need to keep going this way. I need to get out of here. I don't live here like you. I'm merely a trespasser. You are honestly in the way, dude. Okay, I will say though, this is really cool being this close to a great blue heron, even though it is refusing to get out of the way. There we go. Good job, buddy. No, don't just land in the path farther down. There you go. You got your little outlet right there. Just walk onto your outlet so I can walk by. There you go. There you go, buddy. Or you can finally go away. Okay. Bye, Mr. Great Blue Heron. Yeah, I've been hearing him make sounds like that too. That's not the sounds that you would expect the Great Blue Heron to sound like, but that's what they sound like nonetheless. Wow, what an outro that was. That was super epic. There are those eagles hanging out over there. There you go. You can kind of see the eagles. But yeah, unless something else epic like that heron right there happens again, this is probably going to be it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to get out here to this slough maybe sometime in the spring or something like that, when it'll be a little bit warmer, because oh my gosh, it is cold right now. My hands feel like they're going to fall off and die. But anyways, that's going to be it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Swan flyby. There you go.